Before I go in, I'm gonna give you a little bit of context up to my ideology and my mind frame when I talk about this dude, Vlad TV. I got other videos about Vlad, especially with the Dr. Sabi thing that bothered the hell out of me. Some other stuff he said, I made a couple videos here and there taking little jabs, but it wasn't until really this reparations thing came about that really made me start hating Vlad. Like, before I used to dislike him, and when I say hate, that's even kind of a stretch of a word because at the end of the day, I don't have enough time or energy to be worried about anybody else in the world to be hating them or not or loving them. But when I think about it, you know what I'm saying, his topic comes up, his hatred there now, you know what I'm saying, because he's dangerous. But this is the type of person Vlad is. I'm not sure about this. I could be mistaken, but I think him and Rick Ross have a beef now, like not a real beef, but a little tiny thing. Maybe they don't publicly, you know what I'm saying, or maybe it's not even something that was even spoken about amongst them. But this is the type of stuff Vlad does, and this is why I'm gonna tell you what I see that I think that happened with Rick Ross and Vlad. When Rick Ross went on to the Drink Champs, we saw Rick Ross on Vlad a billion times already. We seen him in a couple other places, but when he went on to the Drink Champs, that was really the first time we actually really saw the like kind of the real Rick Ross. Like he opened up. We seen who he really was. You know what I'm saying? Laid back amongst the culture, amongst the people that in the culture of where he's from, what he represents. It was a totally different vibe. In my mind, this is what I picked up on. Could be wrong. Either Vlad and Rick Ross got some kind of beef, or just from Vlad seeing that Champs interview, it bothered him that he was never able to make Rick Ross open up like that. Because if you noticed, after that Drink Champs interview with Rick Ross, everybody that Vlad talked to, he constantly putting up that clip of Rick Ross saying how he was selling X amount of drugs. I forget what it was, like something, an astronomical number. What Vlad was doing every time he talked to somebody, what he really was doing, he wasn't just getting their opinion. He really was trying to get people to be like, that's a lie, you know what I'm saying? Or that's bullshit, or he's bogus, like Rick Ross. That's what he really was doing after that. So I pick up on all kind of little stuff. Sometimes I'll be wrong, I'll be reaching, I'm paranoid, but I can tell that's what he was doing. Trying to play that clip in front of everybody that came up there so he could start some drama between Rick Ross and whoever else because he was bothered by Rick Ross now. You know what I'm saying? Forget about that. Like, that's a thing that might be not worth even going down. But I be knowing what I be talking about, but sometimes I can't express the stuff that I be thinking about. You know what I'm saying? That I feel. But this reparations thing, here's where Vlad went from being a nuisance and a culture vulture to now being dangerous. The Dr. Sebi thing, when he was talking about Dr. Sebi, the comments he made, that was bad enough. You know what I'm saying? But that's like opinion and stuff, like whatever, you know what I'm saying? That's something kind of different. Dr. Sebi, although he's respected, well respected in the culture, it's not like a political issue as far as like Dr. Sebi's situation, for whatever it may be, is not going to affect people moving forward, is what I say, if you understand what I'm saying. But this reparations thing is different. This is a totally different thing. And you got to also understand this too, with the reparations thing. This Donald Trump impeachment stuff is not by accident that this is all coming about now, because this reparations talk is getting real hot in America right now. They got this impeachment stuff on the back burner, all this other drama and politics on the back burner. In case this reparation thing gets to the point where it can't be defeated, that's when they're going to impeach Trump, and all this other drama is going to take place, because that's going to be a way and a reason for them to put it again back on the back burner and act like there's more important issues in the world we got to face other than answering to this reparations topic. Trust what I'm telling you. This reparations topic is the thing that is making and breaking America from day one. Because this is not the first time this has happened. The Roman Empire, other empires, and other places that this has happened in before. When people got to the point where they finally started waking up and being like, you know what? We need our reparations, or we need our payment, or whatever it is. They'll come in and destroy the whole shit before they have to surrender over reparations. Because in actuality, and this is why Vlad bothered. This is why this shit is so toxic. What he's saying about reparations with this college education stupid shit. First of all, just in the past few years, you got companies like Google, Apple, and whoever else, a couple other places that I've seen that made it, it's not a requirement no more to have a college degree to work there no more. That right there is a signal of right there alone tells you. I'm not gonna say college is bullshit. I'm not gonna say it's bad. College is great for networking. You know what I'm saying? You definitely can learn certain whatever you gotta learn going to college. I'm not saying it's bad, so don't take this as like me saying like you shouldn't go to college. That's not what I'm saying at all. But it's a actual known fact, 2019 in America, that college has hurt more people than it has helped. 90% of people that went to college for whatever they went for, wherever they went, unless they went to a community college and got financial aid or a scholarship, 90% of people are in student loan debt out the ass for damn near half of their whole life. On top of maybe not even being able to get a job in the industry that they went to college for. You know what I'm saying? There's not even a definite job waiting for you now. You went to college for 4 to 8 years. You're not even guaranteed to go out of college and walk into this just the field and get a job in the field that you went and did all this time. You know what I'm saying? The learning and all this learning for. So that right there alone, like I said, don't misconstrue what I'm saying. Not saying college is bad. I'm not saying that you shouldn't go to college or anybody shouldn't. But in the way the world is today in this internet age and technology era, you can easily get by and be successful without going to college. Will going to college help you? Yes. But here's something else that's on the low that people don't really realize is another great thing is a trade. Getting a trade like electrician, plumbing, HVAC, stuff like that, carpentry, masonry. Those are more successful occupations than going to college nowadays. They always have been there, but now they're even more, you know what I'm saying, successful in college because they're more needed than, like I said, stuff like that always has to be there. But anyway, back to what I'm saying. So if Vlad going to sit there and say black people should get money to go to college in form of reparations. So basically what he's actually saying, if you really sit there and think about it, is all the work that was done, your dumb ass is still supposed to go to have to work again to maybe not even get fulfillment. So for you to get actually for reparations to pay off for you to manifest into something fruitful that can actually be used in the world, which is money. Long story short, from A to Z, just go right to money. You got to go to school, get yourself in a mind state to go to school. First of all, who even knows if you can even have the capabilities to be trying to go to somebody's school because you already you got baggage in your life already at teenage, young 20s, 30s. Who can even deal with, you know what I'm saying, going to school at this point? Some people ain't even got the ability to go to college at this point, let alone being raised in an inferior education system from the beginning that has not prepared you to go to college in no kind of way. So he's saying you're supposed to get a free college tuition. So go to college and then have to work again for all these years to hopefully whatever you're working there for and getting education for, hopefully you can get a job in that field and hopefully it will pay off years down the line. Think about how criminality sounds like a criminal that came and just destroyed you and giving you a pacifier to keep your dumb ass not to retaliate against him. That's what Vlad sounds like. So no, you're not getting reparations. We're not going to pay. We're not going to give you no money. We're going to give you in position to have to work again to prove that you are worthy of getting paid from us. That's totally racist. Every aspect of what he's saying is totally rooted in racism. Nothing about what he's saying but the reparations, unless he was saying all blacks should get free tuition and whatever else comes along with it. You can. There's nothing wrong with putting that into the package. That'd be cool. Put the free college education in the package of reparations. Like everybody gets 100,000 and a free tuition to go along with it. That's great. That sounds like a great thing if you want to go. You know what I'm saying? But that's the only thing you're getting. That's man. This is what I'm saying. Here's where Vlad becomes from being a nuisance to a culture vulture to now being toxic and dangerous. And it's to the point where, like I said, Godfrey shut him down, kind of. You know what I'm saying? Because you could tell Godfrey was talking directly to him. But like other people that go on his platform, they need him to an extent because nowadays it's not about, everything's about attention. You know what I'm saying? So going on Vlad's platform now can definitely help you and give you exposure in that aspect. But if Vlad is working for the people who don't use money to operate, when the people that know it's only really about power and ideology and symbolism, then there's no way you can defeat. No matter what level you reach from benefit you get from going to Vlad, it's never going to manifest into something positive overall for it. Maybe for you for a minute, like personally. But then what happens when that wears off, or you fall off, or you're not in the limelight no more, or whatever? Like, is that worth it? You know what I'm saying? Vlad is totally toxic to the culture, to black people in general. All he does is show black people in a negative light. Before, I always say I like his content, but don't like him. And the reason why I say that, because if everybody that was on Vlad, if he wasn't who he is, I'm not even going to say being white, because it's not even. This is not even an attack on white people. It's the fact that he's just not of the culture. He doesn't. He's not part of any of this stuff that's going on. He's totally an outsider of it. There's white people I grew up with, run from in the projects that if they had all these interviews, I wouldn't even think twice. I'd be like, oh, it's nothing. But for a person like Vlad, you can tell if you pay attention to the stuff he says and how he says it, interviewing you in the damn room like you're a damn animal in a cage from a damn computer screen, you can tell that he views black people as animals and inferior and nasty and dirty and every other negative thing you could possibly think of. You can tell that he's one of them white people. Just like, who was it, Godfrey, Lord Jamar, something about, the interview with Godfrey, later on in the interview, he was talking about how a white person can be with a black person and then think that proves that you're not racist. No, it don't, because that stuff could be on some fetish type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Blacks and whites meet. It could be a fetish thing, sexual fetish that you're messing with somebody black for. White people always say stuff like, "Oh, how my racist my friend from back in the day was black," and if you haven't really grown up around white people like I have, then you can't really. I guess it's probably hard for you to understand white people like I can. I'm part white. My dad is half white, half black. My mom is black. I'm just real light skinned. I'm not even half white. I'm just like a quarter white, but I'm just real light skinned to be a quarter white. But where I grew up at, my city was like a small melting pot. It's like a small New York, really, because it's a small melting pot. A way small, tiny city, but everything is there. We got everybody. Lebanese, Italian, Puerto Rican. Everybody's where I'm from. Everybody got their little holidays, Lebanese days, Greek days, everything. You know what I'm saying? Heritage Day. So I'm able to identify different types of white people. For people that are not used to being around white people, it's easy for you to see white people as being racist or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, or like every white person is evil, the stuff like that. But for me, I grew up hands-on with white people. I know how to identify the different degrees of white people. There's different type of white people, just like there's different type of black people. You got black folks, you got black people, you got niggas, you got criminals. It's not everybody not the same. You know what I'm saying? So I can identify different types of white folks by interaction or experience by watching them. Cause like where I'm from, I could hear like different times you can hear a white person use the word like nigga. There's white boys around us that said nigga and stuff like that. Even white girls. And depending on, I'm not gonna say everybody. Some people are cool with it. Some people ain't. You know what I'm saying? I guess it kind of depends on the group of people you're around. But I'm going into like a whole totally different thing. But back to what I'm saying about Vlad. What I'm saying about that is the white people thing. Is I can see that he's a racist. I can identify white people that are racist and white people that ain't racist. I can identify that. I can't say I'm 100% right all the time, but there's another thing. When I grew up in the projects, and that they took a small portion of us from the projects to a white school, an elementary school, growing up. So I had a great education from kindergarten to fourth, because it was supposed to be kindergarten to fifth, but I moved to a different school to go to fifth grade. But in me being from the projects, I was spoiled as a kid in the projects. Like, I was the kid that had new sneakers and stuff like that. That was me in the projects around everybody else. When I went to this white school, they sent us over to this white school. Like, in my mind, it's an experiment. They only took like 2 blocks on the project, sent us over there. I was able to identify the spoiled kid in the white school. It's weird because it's hard to understand and it's hard to explain. When I go around kids like where there's all rich kids at, I was able to identify who I was over there. Although the rich kids looking at us coming from the projects, they looking at all of us like we're all just the same regardless, no matter who is spoiled or not. But I was able to see that. That's a whole nother story too. I'm gonna have to go do a different video about that. I did a video about it a long time ago, but back to Vlad. He's dangerous. He's evil. He's put here to cause destruction. Everything about it at this point needs to be taken more serious than it was before because, like I said, like it's hard to knock people for doing something that's gonna benefit them in the long run. Like people that go on Vlad, like Godfrey already spoke for himself. From what I seen from Godfrey with him blacking out on Vlad, he's really was talking to Vlad. So I know where Godfrey's heart is definitely at. I would assume Lord Jamar is on the same thing because of what he represents and knowing back in the day, brand newbies and stuff like that. You would think he's really in the same, feels the same way Godfrey does, but is doing the same thing, using Vlad like Vlad using everybody else. But it's getting to the point where it's like people like you get people got to stop messing with Vlad or something, man. Because it's like no matter what you're going on there saying or doing, you're fueling his fire. You know what I'm saying? You're fueling this engine of this. There's no other way to say it. White supremacy. You're fueling the attack against your own people. Is basically what I'm saying. So take it as you will, however you want it to be, whatever the case may be. But trust me, Vlad TV is dangerous and toxic and should not be in the culture. Period.